Most people think real estate investing starts with buying a rental property, but that's not how it actually begins. It begins with someone realizing they're already paying for housing anyway. Rent, mortgage, bills that disappear every month with nothing left behind. Then someone asks a quiet question: what if this place could pay me back? That question is where house hacking starts, not with money, not with ambition, but with frustration. Because once you understand house hacking, it becomes obvious why so many people skip it. It doesn't look impressive, it doesn't sound exciting, and yet it's one of the fastest ways ordinary people quietly change their financial trajectory. To understand how, we need to break down what house hacking really is. Part 1. What house hacking actually means. House hacking isn't a trick, it's a structure. You live in a property and other people help pay for it. That's it. It could be a duplex where you live on one side and rent the other, a triplex, a fourplex, or even a single family home where rooms are rented individually. The goal is simple: reduce your housing cost or eliminate it entirely. Instead of paying rent to a landlord, tenants pay you. Instead of housing draining your income, it supports it. This flips the normal script. Housing stops being a liability. It becomes leverage. And because you're living there, financing options become far more forgiving, which is where the real opportunity begins. Part 2. Why financing makes house hacking possible. Most people think they can't invest because they don't have enough money. House hacking quietly solves that problem. Owner-occupied loans allow low down payments, sometimes very low, because lenders see less risk when you live in the property. You're more likely to maintain it, more likely to protect it. So banks give better terms, lower interest rates, smaller down payments, longer timelines. This means someone can control a multi-unit property with far less cash than buying a traditional rental. And tenant rent becomes part of the math. It helps qualify for the loan. It helps cover the payment. Sometimes it covers everything. This is why house hacking often becomes someone's first investment without them realizing it. They didn't become an investor, they just stopped paying rent. But this setup creates a deeper shift most people don't expect. Part 3. The psychological shift no one talks about. Living where you invest changes how you think. You stop seeing property as an abstract number. You see how systems work: maintenance, tenants, expenses, cash flow. You learn fast because mistakes are close. This education is expensive for some people. House hackers get paid to learn. They understand what breaks, what tenants complain about, what costs more than expected. And because they live there, they manage risk carefully. No reckless purchases, no unrealistic rents. House hacking forces discipline, and that discipline compounds. But the biggest mental shift happens quietly. Housing stops being emotional. It becomes operational. And once that switch flips, money decisions change permanently. Which brings us to the downside people rarely mention. Part 4. The sacrifice most people avoid. House hacking isn't glamorous. Privacy is reduced. Space is shared. Comfort is delayed. You might live next to tenants, above them, below them. You hear noise. You handle issues. You make compromises your friends don't. This is why most people don't do it. They want comfort now. House hacking asks for patience. It trades short-term convenience for long-term leverage, and not everyone wants that trade. But those who accept it gain something rare: time. Lower housing costs free up income. Income builds savings. Savings create options, and options reduce pressure. House hacking isn't about suffering. It's about choosing controlled discomfort instead of lifelong financial stress. And that choice unlocks something even more powerful. Part 5. How house hacking creates momentum. House hacking rarely ends with one property. It creates momentum. Rent pays down the loan. Equity builds quietly.
Property values rise slowly over time. Eventually, the numbers change. Refinancing becomes possible. Payments drop. Cash flow improves. Now the property supports itself without you living there. And suddenly, you're free to repeat the process. Move into the next property, rent out the previous unit, let systems stack. This is how people go from 0 properties to several without massive income increases. Not overnight, but steadily. House hacking isn't fast wealth, it's structural wealth, and structure lasts, which is why experienced investors often say their first house hack mattered more than any later deal, because it taught them how ownership actually works. Part 6. Why most people never do it. House hacking fails the ego test. It doesn't look successful from the outside. Friends don't understand it. Family questions it. Social pressure pushes against it. People would rather look successful than be positioned well. So they rent nice places, buy homes they can barely afford, lock themselves into high payments. House hacking asks you to ignore appearances, to optimize quietly, to play a longer game. And that's uncomfortable. But the system rewards those who reduce their biggest expense early. Housing is most people's largest cost. House hacking attacks it directly, which is why it works so well, and why it feels almost unfair once you see it clearly. House hacking doesn't look impressive at first. There's no big announcement, no sudden lifestyle jump, no moment where everything magically feels different. In fact, from the outside, it can look like nothing is happening at all. But that's the point. While most people are trapped by rising rent, larger mortgages, and shrinking flexibility, house hackers are quietly removing the biggest bill from their lives: housing, the expense that controls how much risk you can take, how much you can save, how much pressure you feel every single month. House hacking doesn't make you rich overnight. It does something far more important. It lowers the floor beneath you. It gives you breathing room. It turns survival into stability, and stability into options. It teaches you how money behaves when ownership replaces obligation. And once you experience that shift, it's hard to unsee it. You stop asking how to earn more. You start asking how to keep more. How to structure life so that effort compounds instead of resets every month. House hacking is rarely the end goal. It's the first proof that the system can work in your favor, that housing doesn't have to be a drain, that investing doesn't have to start with massive risk, and that ordinary people with ordinary incomes can quietly build leverage by making smarter structural choices. Not everyone will choose this path. Comfort is tempting. Short-term convenience feels safe. But for those who do choose it, house hacking often becomes the moment everything changes direction. Not because they worked harder, but because they designed smarter. If you want more breakdowns like this, real strategies, real systems, and clear explanations that don't get lost in hype, make sure you're subscribed, because understanding how money actually works is the first step to stopping it from working against you.